at Market Street and 14th. Come out and say hi. Good crowd here out at Rhine House. I had asked KJ to get this song ready, and I think I heard him bump into the show with it, but we got to give it the proper love that it deserves, because this is a dumb game. I mean, look, everyone, the Avs were out. We had a healthy dose of Nikita Prishatov. Give me this pronunciation on this, Raj. Prishapov. We're going to talk about him. He was pretty good tonight, actually. This kid I've never heard of until tonight, 20 years old. But bump it up, KJ, the Roman Josi song. Have you heard the Roman Josi song, Raj?
I have not. Swiss rap? About Roman Josi? I shouldn't like this, but I like this.
I got to get to that chorus because it's just Roman Josi. God, this is a long verse.
I was going to say, this is going on quite a while, Mark Springer. We need to pay
all
off here.
All for a song about Roman Josi. There it is.
I got to say, it let me down.
Roman Josi, you can fade that down, KJ. Had the game-winning goal tonight. 2 power play goals for the Nashville Predators. I think that's really the difference in this game. The Avs get 1 power play goal from Cale Makar. They get the late goal with the net pulled from Nathan MacKinnon, but a couple of untimely penalties, a Stamkos goal. That thing was rocketed right off of Justus Onninen's glove. The Josi goal was a freaking bullet in the slot. I thought the Avs played well. I thought they were the better team, but I thought untimely penalties and the Predators' ability to capitalize on them was the difference in this game. And, yes, Roman Josi, the game-winning goal, goal number 3 for Nashville there in the third period.
The difference between the Avs winning and losing games when they are this injured is going to be you have to be elite on special teams. And I talked about this during the Tampa Bay game. I talked about it in the post-game show against the Lightning, is that if you're going to beat teams that, again, Connor McGahey and I have differing opinions on what we think the Nashville Predators can be. I look at that lineup and I see a bunch of veteran late players that still have a couple of years of elite play in them. I think they're going to be a bona fide playoff team. Others, and Connor's not the only one that thinks that they're going to fall short, think that they're not going to make the playoffs this year. Against teams that are playoff contenders, you absolutely must win the special teams battle. Nashville goes 2 for 2 on the power play. You go 1 for 4. Therefore, with all these guys out, you are going to lose these games. That's what's going to happen. And the Avs, outside of special teams, they were the better team. They dominated possession in this game, and they just went up against UC Saros, who played pretty damn well tonight. Unfortunately, you didn't win the one piece of the game that you have to win those pieces in order to win these games when you're this hurt. It's just that's the lay of the land right now. That's my rule.
That was probably UC Saros' best game of the season. In Nashville, in general, I don't know if it was their best game of the season, but they've been underwhelming. They've disappointed to start. They came into tonight 3-6-1. They leave tonight 4-6-1. They just hosted an Edmonton team that was without Connor McDavid, and Edmonton won. So it's a team that you can go in undermanned and beat, but you catch them coming off that loss. They're hungry. They want to get a win after dropping one on their home ice to an undermanned team. Another undermanned team comes into their building, and they needed it more coming off of that bad home loss and that bad start to the season. And this is the Avs are ripe for the picking. They're the type of team that, okay, you lose to Edmonton without Connor McDavid. Here comes Colorado without Nichushkin, Landeskog, Lehkonen, Drouin, Wood, Colton. Does that equal Connor McDavid? I think that's more than Connor McDavid, actually. And that's why you lost tonight. But, hey, shout out to Nikita. Oh, my gosh. This
One more
name
time.
is
Try it.
Prishpov. Okay, this is a 20-year-old kid.
7th-round pick this year in the draft.
This year's draft. That's where the Avs are at, that a 7th-round pick of a few months ago has to play for this team.
He looked fine. I mean, I'm not here to like pick apart Nikita Prishipov's game. I think that's crazy to do, but 13 minutes, 2 shots on goal. He had a couple of blocked shots tonight. He was solid. Like he played way more than Oliver Shillington did tonight. Shillington played 4.5 minutes. And the reason why, Bednar said it before the game. He goes, we're kind of hamstrung about who we can bring up and who we can actually play because of our salary cap situation, that like Shillington, because he's on such a low deal, is almost being forced upon the Avs to play forward rather than going into the AHL and bringing up other players. It's this weird situation where they're so injured that they literally can't put the players in the lineup that they want to.
Is this a matter of like exhausting call-ups and send-downs? You only have so many of those for any given player you can use.
It's part of it.
Before then, you'd have to like expose them to waivers if you wanted to send them back down to the AHL.
It's insane, man.
So therefore, you just stick with Oliver Shillington is forced to play forward. I thought TJ Tynan had a couple moments tonight. He wears number 9. He was doing the Evan Rodriguez thing because Erod would wear number 9. But it's tough to tell. You know, we're at a bar here at Rhinehouse, and the TV's not like right in front of our face. So you see a number of that ilk, and I'm like, hey, that skating looks like Cale Makar. No, it's TJ Tynan who wears a digit above Makar. But TJ Tynan flashed a couple times, forechecking, playing hard. This is where we're at, where I have to say, wow, TJ Tynan was okay tonight. He shouldn't be playing. He shouldn't be playing in the NHL. And the Avs were the better team overall tonight. I thought if you just graded this eyeball test, who was controlling more of the possession, who was getting better chances, the Avs outshot Nashville tonight. But they're just undermanned. And when you have Steven Stamkos ripping one-timers and Roman Josi ripping shots, those are stars. And that's a healthy Nashville team that was desperate coming off of a slow start to the season. It's just tough. You know, could they have stolen one tonight? Absolutely, but they're just eating it on the chin right now. They're just completely eating it on the chin. They're the punching bag. Unfortunately, they are playing the role of punching bag because of their injury situation.
Avs fall 5-2 between the pipes, presented by Safeway, live at Rhinehouse with our friends at Ed Prather Real Estate. Text us at 303-504-0925 on the Schomp Mazda text line. We'll take a quick timeout, continue breaking down the Avs' third consecutive 5-2 loss, live from 14th and Market. Alex Ryanemi and Mark Springer. This is Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. Welcome back to Between the Pipes, presented by Safeway. We're live from Ryan House off of 14th and Market across from Ball Arena, thanks to our friends at Ed Prather Real Estate. It was packed out here for our Avs watch party. We had college football going on at the same time. Avs lose 5-2. College football was wild today. I'm sure we can get into that in a couple of minutes, considering, like, the answer for right now, I know it's an Avs postgame show, Spring. The answer is you have to play nearly a perfect game to win hockey games against playoff contending teams. That's where we are with the Avalanche. And that was my point with the power play and the PKs, that if you lose those battles and you don't have Lehkonen, Drouin, Wood, Colton all available to you, not to mention Gabe Landeskog or Val Nichushkin, chances of you winning those hockey games are slim to none, because the other team has to shoot themselves in the foot to do so. Nashville didn't shoot themselves in the foot. They got out of the way. They killed off penalties, right? They killed off 3 of 4, and that's the difference in the hockey game tonight. The good news is you're 5-7. You don't have a murderer's row coming up in the next handful of games. Like, you can still get out of these games, these next 10, hovering somewhere near 500.
The schedule has been relatively kind to them in terms of only one back-to-back so far on the season, and now they will get 2 days off, and they will come home and play Seattle, and I think that's Artturi Lehkonen's season debut. At least that's what we were told, is that Tuesday against Seattle would be the return of Artturi Lehkonen, so that's huge, and that'll be, I think that's game number 5 of a 5-game road trip for the Kraken. So you get Lecky back. You're playing a Seattle team that you just beat. Now, you had a couple extra dudes. You had Colton, you had Wood when you were in Seattle, and you beat them. But you get Lehkonen back. Maybe we get a little surprise, and Miles Wood plays in that game, although that might be a game or two too soon for him. Maybe Drouin surprises and plays. Not going to hold my breath for either Drouin or Wood on Tuesday night, but Lehkonen back, that's a start. That's someone coming back. That's the first person who will have come back. Oh, Taves. Taves missed a couple games, and he came back.
I don't even know if I really count Devon Taves, because it was such a small blip.
Still, though, I mean, like I'm all here for guys returning from injury instead of leaving with injury. So Lehkonen returns on Tuesday. And then hopefully as the month of November goes on, then it is just a matter of days until Wood's back, and then Drouin, and then Nichushkin middle of the month. And then in December, Colton will be back, and then I have no idea on Landeskog.
All right, so the Oilers, through their first 13 games of the season last year, were 3-9-1 when they fired their head coach, Jay Woodcroft. Chris Knobloch jumps in as their head coach for the remainder of the season. And history tells itself that typically those teams aren't going to go on the run that Edmonton did, but you can still save your season this early on. Colorado's season is not nearly as bad through the first 12 games as Edmonton was last season. And Edmonton was relatively healthy when all that was happening. They just had power outages from guys named Draisaitl and McDavid at that point. Bouchard wasn't playing very well. Colorado's well ahead of schedule. I know it's just like a couple of more wins, right? They were 3-9-1. The Avs are 5-7 right now. Let's say through this 13th game, they come back home against Seattle. They get a win, and they're 6-7. You are ahead of schedule from a team in the Western Conference that got to the Stanley Cup final last year without having to battle through injuries like this. If you can stomach the Avs losing games like this until everyone gets back, you're going to be fine as a fan, I promise you. But you're going to drive yourself crazy. You're going to rip your hair out if you're expecting the same results from this team as you should expect from them, say, the middle of December or the middle of January.
Also interesting with this upcoming schedule, too, Seattle on Tuesday, then at Winnipeg on Thursday. That's going to be tough. That's going to be extremely tough because Winnipeg's playing great right now. And you're still going to be undermanned. But then they start a 4-game homestand that lasts about a week. Carolina, Nashville, the Kings, the Capitals. So, I mean, really, Carolina, a week from tonight, they'll have 2 games between now and then. I think they beat Seattle in Lehkonen's return, and considering Seattle's on the 5th game of a 5-game road trip. Maybe Winnipeg sucks on Thursday. But Saturday, and Carolina's very good. So a week from tonight, Lehkonen's playing, Wood's playing.
Drouin possible.
If Drouin can play a week from tonight against Carolina, and then you have this 4-game homestand, and you want to know what happens after the 4-game homestand?
4-game roadie.
4-game road trip. You know who is probably playing in game 1 of the 4-game road trip? Valeri Nichushkin.
In Philadelphia.
So, man, you go at least 500 on the 4-game homestand, and Nichushkin is back by the time you go on a road. You can start to get a few games over 500. You can start to creep up in the Central Division. It's coming. Like the schedule helps with some home games before Nichushkin gets back, and then you go on the road. That's where you want to have players like Nichushkin, and you're probably going to get them when you go on the road.
So you'd be 8. What would you be? You'd be 8-9 at the end of that stretch.
Yes,
9-10, something like that.
Yeah.
And I take that any day of the week.
Yeah.
You just have to be within shouting distance. Listen, if you end up getting beat by Seattle, beat by Winnipeg, and you're 5-9 at that point, or you fall to 5-10 by the time that the Washington game happens, then you start to panic a little bit. Then you go, oh no, is this too big of a hole that we've dug ourselves at the beginning of the season, considering what the rest of your division has done, right? Winnipeg, smoking hot to start the season. Minnesota, smoking hot to start the season. We know Dallas, despite losing 2 games in Helsinki to the Florida Panthers over the weekend, they're still a cup contending team. If you're 5-10, 5-11 at that point, you are so far behind that you have to rattle off 8, 9, 10-game win streaks sometime during the middle of the season. But if you're 500, that's a couple of games where you win 4 out of 5. And then you lose 1, and then you win 3 out of 4, and then you lose 1. And then you're right back in the thick of things. You just have to stay with at least your nose above the water.
Yeah, I mean, look, November 18th at Philly, when they start that 4-game road trip, there's a world where they are at full strength except for Landeskog that night. And it's going to be insane to see a top line with McKinnon, Rantanen, and Drouin, a second line with Middlestat, Nichushkin, Lehkonen, a third line, which is the Roaring Twenties line, reunited, and then a fourth line of Ivan, Yoel Kiviranta, and whoever could be Prishchapov for all I care. He looked pretty good tonight. Parker Kelly. It's probably Parker Kelly, Yoel Kiviranta, Ivan. Guess what? That's a lineup right there. Now, all of a sudden, even with Landeskog still out, you can start winning some games. And, hey, guess what, man? Let's talk about the goaltending. I thought he was good tonight. I thought Justus Annunen was pretty good tonight. I thought he looked better than Kakkonen did in the Lightning start, and I thought he looked better than Georgiev did in the Blackhawks start.
I would have liked to have seen the Stamkos goal back. Hit you in the glove.
Sure.
Not
I
really
get
much
it.
of a screen. Although, and again, I did give Kaapo Kakkonen the pass on the Nikita Kucherov one-timer because it is Nikita Kucherov. And he put up 140 points last year, right? He wins the Art Ross Trophy for most points scored by a player last season. I can stay the same for a guy in Steven Stamkos who scored 557 career goals, many of which have come on a one-timer from that exact place.
Yeah.
So, like, if it's Stammer or Kucherov or Ovechkin from that spot, I can look at a goalie and go, all right, I'll give you that one. It's the only goal tonight that I go, I may have wanted that one back. But then again, it's number 91 hammering it from the left side as a right-handed shot. Sometimes a Hall of Famer beats you.
Yeah. Hey, the glove had been good. Stamkos beats his glove there, but it's Steven freaking Stamkos from the left side. And it was in rather close. Look, I want him to make that save. I think he will make that save. But I get it. I get it. For anyone, if you want to hold that against Justus Annunen, I don't think you understand what a Steven Stamkos one-timer from that area is.
I mean, again, he's a top. I think he moved into number 29 or 28 tonight on the all-time scoring list. He's about to score 600 goals at some point, probably early next season. There's not a lot of dudes who have ever done that. So I will give Annunen the pass because his general body of work this year has been good enough.
There are so many loose puck in front of the net type plays. There were a lot of them tonight where Annunen was very smooth and covered his area and just so much more in control in those chaotic moments than Georgiev has been. Annunen is 24 years old. He's developing very nicely. I can't wait to see him here in just over 2 weeks when everybody is back. I think Annunen will remain the one and will benefit from having, great defensive forwards in front of him, like Nichushkin and Lehkonen.
This Thanksgiving, you guys can get a free frozen honeysuckle white turkey when you click the offer and spend $150 or more at your local Safeway through November 28th. Hurry in today while supplies last. You can find them at Safeway.com. They present Between the Pipes every single Avs game to you guys, not only here on 92.5 tonight, but on X, on YouTube, and on Twitch. We'll take a timeout, wrap things up on the other side, tell you what happened around the rest of the league, and get us ready for Tuesday's night against the Seattle Kraken. That's Mark Springer. I'm Alex Ryan-Emmy. This is Colorado's exclusive home for Avalanche hockey, Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. Welcome back live at Ryan House off of 14th and Market Street. Thanks to our friends at Ed Prather Real Estate. It was a fun little Avs watch party, but they fell for the third consecutive time by a score of 5-2. 2 empty netters tonight for the Nashville Predators. Avs were the better team, just untimely power play goals against. Nashville goes 2 for 2 on the power play. The Avs just 1 for 4, and that's essentially all she wrote. 2 games below 500. They now sit at 5-7. They'll come back to Colorado to play against the Seattle Kraken on Tuesday evening, 6:30 p.m. pregame show on Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. Between the Pipes, Alex Ryanemi, Mark Springer. Final thoughts on this one that we haven't already gotten to in, well, they're hurt. They're going to lose a handful of games.
Couple sick little Avs goals tonight. I mean, Cale
Nasty.
Makar in a 4-on-3 situation, and they needed that goal in a 4-on-3. That put them up 1-0. And I thought they were the better team in the second period overall, but they lose the period 2-1. They had some great looks. Mikko Rantanen gets in close on Saros and tries to flip one towards the top shelf, but Saros gloves that thing as it's coming up. It's a great little glove save from UC Saros. I think Mikko hits a post in that period too. I'm seeing a lot of people get on Mikko tonight, whether it's on social media or even a text or two, but he had looks in the second period. And then how about I know you want to talk about it, the Nathan McKinnon goal.
Oh, my God.
With the Avs in the 6-on-5.
That was ridiculous.
I mean, you're not going to see a better backhand goal than that.
It was ridiculous. There's like 3 people on the planet that can do that. Maybe. Turnaround backhand short side against an all-world goalie in UC Saros, who, again, has not, to your credit, you said it earlier, hasn't been playing well at all. Maybe his best game of the season comes tonight against the Avs. An all-world goal from Nathan McKinnon. You did mention it. I think it's 7 games now without a Mikko Rantanen goal. Typically when this team is hurt, Mikko's the guy that kind of brings them along with him in terms of goal scoring. It's been a bit of a power outage, but I haven't hated his play. Like, I liked how he played tonight. I thought he was relatively strong. I thought he was quick to offensive contact. We saw a little Peter Forsberg action, like a pre-check out of him on the forecheck.
Sure.
He doesn't do a lot of that. So I haven't been disgusted by his play at all. He's just not scoring.
No, he's not. And it's unfortunate because the reinforcements are coming, and you'd like Mikko to get red hot when guys are out. That could have gotten them a couple extra points here in this stretch. But I do think he's playing well overall. I thought he played well tonight. He's just a little snake bitten right now. You hate to be snake bitten when you're very much so undermanned. Like, be snake bitten when, hey, you have Nichushkin you can fall back on. You have Lehkonen you can fall back on. To not be able to find the back of the net in a stretch where, man, we'd really like you to because you're one of our best options. It's a little unfortunate.
Other finals tonight, 11 games, including the Avs falling 5-2 this evening. The Panthers get a 4-2 victory over the Dallas Stars. This happening in the Global Series out there in Helsinki, Finland. Sam Reinert continues to stay red hot. Alexander Barkov coming back from injury, keeps putting up points. Reinert scores an empty netter for his 10th of the season, now leads the league in goals, tied with Cole Caulfield and Nico Hischier with 10 as well. 4-2 is the final. So the Avs are losing, but they're getting help in the division.
Yeah, Dallas gets swept in the Global Series, in the Finnish series. I noticed, you look at their lineups tonight, like they got Jason Robertson down on their third line. That's interesting to me. He was a budding superstar a couple years ago, now playing third line minutes. They're not an overwhelming team. Winnipeg is not an overwhelming team, I still don't think, in this Western Conference. I think when the Avs get healthy, they're going to be right up there. They can beat Dallas, they can beat Winnipeg, but right now, if they were to match up with Dallas and Winnipeg tonight, bad matchup.
Not great. Bruins get a 3-0 shutout win on the road over the Flyers. Blackhawks, thanks to a Ryan Donato shootout winner, hold off 2 goals from Alex Laferriere, his 7th and 8th of the season, one coming on the power play. Kings get 40 shots on goal, but Darcy Kemper, the tough luck loss there. Blackhawks 4-3 shootout win there. The Capitals get a 3-point effort from Alexander Ovechkin, 1 goal, 2 assists from the grade 8, continues to climb the list on both goals and points scored in his illustrious career. 7-2 is the final from Washington. Senators get a 3-0 shutout win at home against Seattle.
Yeah, Seattle continues this long road trip, this long East Coast road trip that started off well for them with the big win in Montreal. Then they got, the 3-goal loss in Toronto, a 3-goal loss today in Ottawa. And then, let's see, I think they're in Boston. Yeah, they're in Boston tomorrow. And then they're going to finish in Colorado on Tuesday night. So you're going to get a tired Kraken team on Tuesday night for Lecky's return.
Sabres got out to an early 1-0 lead thanks to a shorthanded Alex Tuck goal halfway through the first period, but Dylan Larkin scores 2 power play goals. The Red Wings, I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I think the Yzer plan is failing, but they're winning a lot of games in which they get heavily outshot, and this is yet another one. Sabres put 33 shots on goal. Detroit just gets 23. They win the game 2-1. I know it's the Sabres, but it's this weird thing that, Detroit's winning games where they're not playing well in. They give up a bunch of shots, and they're getting great goaltending early on. I was not expecting that.
It should have been a more fun game than a 2-1 game.
Yes,
with all the young, there's a lot of young talent on these two teams, but they're both stuck in neutral right now, Buffalo and Detroit.
Penguins get a 3-1 win at home over the Montreal Canadiens. Sidney Crosby scores his 93rd game-winning goal. He passes Mike Modano, who had 92 with Dallas and Minnesota when they were the North Stars, for the 7th most in NHL history. He trails Ovi, who has 129 with Washington. Gordie Howe had 121 with Detroit. Patrick Marleau, 101 with the San Jose Sharks. Bobby Hull had 98 with the Blackhawks. Guy Lafleur, 94 with the Canadiens. And Stevie Yzerman, 94 with the Detroit Red Wings. 4-2 is the final for the Blues over the Maple Leafs. Jordan Binnington gets his 148th career win, ties Jake Allen for the second most by a Blues goaltender. He's 3 away from having the most in franchise history. So, Jordan Binnington, is he still elite?
No, he's not elite, but he's an above-average goaltender in this league, and that's tough to find. That's tough to find nowadays.
Avs have been hoping for it for years. Oh, spring.
How about, real quick, a couple live scores. San Jose, Vancouver tied at 1.
I forgot. We do have games going on right now.
San Jose and Vancouver are tied at 1 in the third period. The Sharks are looking to extend a 3-game win streak to a 4-game win streak. The San Jose Sharks are going for 4 straight wins tonight.
If the Sharks can do it, the Avs can do it when they're healthy.
Absolutely. This San Jose Sharks team. And Vancouver's no pushover. I'm rooting Nico Sturm scoring for the Sharks tonight. How about that?
Pius Suter with the 1 goal for the Canucks, and tied at 2 through 40 minutes of play out there on the Strip are the Vegas Golden Knights and the Utah Hockey Club. Vegas 24 shots on goal, Utah just 10. Logan Cooley gets his second of the season. Ian Cole, former Av, gets his first of the year. Pavel Dorofiev also scores for the Vegas Golden Knights to go alongside Noah Hannafin's first as a Knight this season. That's your look around the NHL. In spring, that's going to do it for us live from Ryan House. Thanks to our friends at Ed Prather and Safeway, for Cole Smith, for KJ Granderson. Back at our station in Lone Tree, that's Mark Springer. I'm Alex Ryan-Emmy. This has been fun being back on 92.5. I can't wait until the next time we talk spring, the next time we do this post-game show. We will be talking about a game in which Arturi Lehkonen skated.
It's surreal. It's surreal. It feels like none of these guys are ever going to be back. Yet here he is returning. Yeah, get up to Ryan House before tonight is over. Speaking of the Utah Hockey Club, the Utah Jazz are in action against the Denver Nuggets right now. Nuggets up 20. They can't win on the same night, Raj. The Avs and the Nuggets. They can't do it. It's a thing right now. I don't think we've had double wins on the same night maybe once this season. I don't think we have this season. I don't think we've had 2 wins in the same night.
Certainly haven't. If you guys are listening in the Denver metro area, you can find the Nuggets and the Utah Jazz on our sister station, Altitude Sports Radio, AM 950. That'll do it for us. We'll talk to you guys on Tuesday evening after the Avs take on the Seattle Kraken right here at Ball Arena. For spring, I'm Raj. We'll see you guys on Tuesday night. Avs fall 5-2 to the Predators. Arturi Lehkonen's back on Tuesday. Get excited.